Hey guys, Frank here. Today we'll check out some stories from us/AskReddit. Here's the first. What are some dark truths about modern dating, and what are the things that you should avoid and watch out for? You can mistake a genuine connection with someone and really it was just someone with really good social skills. Social media has ruined almost every aspect of dating in the modern world. People put too much emphasis on trying to be who they think will attract people and not enough on who they truly are. There are bots created by the app's websites to stop you from leaving if you're not getting matches. If they tell you you have to pay to unlock their crypto account, it's a scam. People are very shallow and act like they deserve perfect while demanding others accept them just the way they are. My husband and I met in college and we've always worked because we know that neither of us is perfect, but we are perfect for each other. If they ghost you, walk away. Be wary of them sliding back into your DMs in the future. Pay attention to inconsistent communication or things like "I lost my charger, my phone died, I forgot to call or text, just been really busy," but it's all the time. Pay attention to breadcrumbing. Many people are emotionally unavailable and are pursuing stimulation and validation, not connection. Hookup culture can blow boundaries. Decide if you're cool with a situationship. Online dating is a perfect environment for people who are bad at long-term relationships, and it only gets worse the older you get. People have now become disposable. You could be falling in love with somebody and accidentally say the wrong darn thing, or wear a t-shirt they don't like, or have a bad day, or disagree on some minor detail like whether or not Taylor Swift sucks, and suddenly you're completely cut off. Their contacts changed, their socials have locked you out and you can't reach them. You have to be prepared for heartache because everyone is quickly replaceable. Nobody has bothered practicing making up or compromising or trying to see another person's perspective. We all want perfect from the get-go and don't want to do the work to build something phenomenal. Everyone is just out to get theirs. If they never ask questions about you and only talk about themselves. If it feels more like an exit interview than a conversation, if they seem superficial, guess what? They are. If they laugh at everything you say and keep saying you're funny. If someone's acting distant, you shouldn't try and double down to try and get their attention. Usually that person is assessing or has already assessed how compatible they are with you. If they are interested, there won't be any question about it. All these apps give us a wide pool of options to choose from, making social interactions harder between both genders. Swipe left and right. I mean, guys doesn't really approach me that much, but I see a lot of text messages on my dating profile, and then I go out with some on a date and no one is really talking. Watch out for anyone that just has a gimme mindset and thinks they are the prize. Men, women, non-binary, doesn't matter. Dating should be about creating a good experience, relationship together, not one side thinks the other owes them something for their time, whether that's material things, sexual things, or otherwise. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting any of those things, it's the attitude I'm talking about. People don't really give a frick. They care to the extent of getting what they want with false future promises. Just to discard you and start all over again. Here's story 2. What's a harmless habit that people don't realize is actually damaging in the long run? Only doing minimum payments on debt. Allowing interest to work against you. I heard this quote, I'm not sure who from, we teach people how to treat us. I find this a good reminder, especially when meeting new people. People pleasing. If you are more concerned with making sure everyone around you is happy than you are about your own well-being, it will bite you in the ass. Eventually you will start to resent people because you will feel that they don't put in as much effort as you do, when in reality you are just doing too much. Take care of yourself, or you will not be able to truly care for others. Learn early how to set and maintain proper boundaries. Holding in your pee because you're busy at work. Wearing headphones all the time in loud volume. Sticking around in a relationship where you aren't happy. Doom scrolling massively screws with your brain. Sitting too long on the toilet. Thinking it's polite to avoid hard subjects. Instead, we should learn how to appropriately address those subjects in a variety of settings. Avoiding them lets things that need to be addressed fester and grow. Overworking and not taking time off from work. Expecting people to treat you the way you treat them. So many people go above and beyond for someone who only associates with them when they want something but never return the favor. Constantly saying yes to everything sounds polite and helpful, but over time it drains your energy, builds resentment, and burns you out before you even notice. Only visiting a healthcare professional if the issue is extreme or long-term persistent. Reduces the likelihood of catching serious illnesses in the early stages dramatically if you resist speaking to a doctor until it's crippling. People who continuously choose to sweep things under the rug to keep the peace. No peace is kept that way, it just builds a mountain of resentment until one day it causes irreparable harm to the relationship, whether it's toxicity or indifference. And it makes the person who's willing to work through the issues look like they are the one who can't let things go. People, please learn how to have difficult conversations constructively. Edited typos. Playing on their phones when driving. I see it every other driver. So scary. Here's story 3. Waiters of Reddit, what world this is going horribly dates have you witnessed? I remember this one time a couple were on their first date, the restaurant was empty, and the guy was a regular, so I made sure that they had a great experience. Hooked them up with a free app and some wine, let the lady play her music on the speakers. When I was bringing them dessert, she got a phone call and she was told that her father had died. It went from a near-perfect evening to probably the worst night of her life. I've witnessed 2 failed marriage proposals. One was uneventful, the proposal happened and she quietly said no. They both left looking dejected. As for the other one, he was an obnoxious jerk and she seemed over it. He proposed at dessert, she said no, he tried to argue and they ended up yelling at each other in the rain outside the restaurant. She was right to turn him down. I've seen a bunch, but the best was when a guy brought in a canned Pepsi and just asked for a glass with ice. He then offered one to his date. It did not go well. Had a customer who was meeting a guy for a blind date. I saw a man walk in the room, scan the room, and walk out. After a couple lonely glasses of wine and constant checking of the phone, it became apparent that he bailed. I asked if she wanted to order a meal and she declined. I gave her a dessert and told her the bill had been taken care of. I saw many good dates, bad dates, and everything in between. The saddest was a couple that seemed like a good match. Lady was so excited but the guy was insecure but successful. Persian dude in early 30s. He got there early and it was a great date spot. I chatted with him while he nursed a drink to cool the nerves. He was a very down-to-earth guy and I felt like we genuinely connected. She shows up and was so excited. Until he talked about himself and his career for the next 90 minutes. I wanted to scream at the guy to ask a question, but he was trying to impress her and was a totally different guy. It was these 2 kids that I'd guess were 12 to 14. The boy's mom drove them to the restaurant. The mom planned on fucking off to the bar so they could enjoy themselves. The boy would not let her leave the table no matter how many hints her and the girl tried to throw. I saw that he was physically holding his mother under the table. The boy was so nervous that he barely talked to the girl. He mostly talked to his mom, and the girl mostly talked to his mom. It was so painful to watch. When I was in college, I was working in a bar where the man left his phone in his jacket and left the jacket on the chair when he went to the bathroom. His girlfriend or wife immediately went for it, and within the minute and 45 seconds he was gone. She apparently found what she was looking for, and as he returned she started yelling and flipped the high-top table over. She ran out with his phone and he ran after, and we just camped the check because no one was interrupting that. Edited to add, I hope it was a scam. They deserved every single bite for free, but they didn't stay long enough to enjoy the fruits of their performance if so. Also, I watched all the color drain from that man's face and he looked like a fish swallowed a golf ball, so an epic performance if it was staged. Had a girl I went on with the night before come into the restaurant I was working at the next night on a different date and sat in my section. She did not know I worked there. The look on her face was priceless when I said, "Hey folks, my name is Ben and I'll be taking care of you tonight." Man tried to order for his date. She didn't like that, but it was early in the date so she said nothing. He ordered an expensive appetizer that she didn't want, only he ate it. She looked not impressed but still seemed to be trying to feign interest. Came time to order dinner and he tried to order for her something expensive, surf and turf. She said no thank you. She was a vegetarian, apparently established before the date, and wanted the vegetarian dish. He didn't back down and insisted she have the surf and turf. She again said no, she wouldn't eat it. He countered with he could afford it, so why not? She left. Not a waiter, but I did once see a woman storm out of a date in a very nice restaurant. The couple was seated at an adjacent table to me. She got up abruptly and left just before the food was served. The waiters seemed to handle it very discreetly. They brought a cover to keep her meal warm in case she returned, and after a generous interval, quietly took her plate away. The guy waited for a while before forlornly eating his own meal and asking for the bill. We had this one older lady come in every week. She wore a different wig every time. She would ask to sit at the same exact table and ask that we would act like we've never met her before. Then, throughout the day, sometimes the entire day, she would have multiple dates. These men would just fawn all over her. If they did not bring her flowers, it was a wrap. She would ask that we help sneak her out of the restaurant until the guy left. Sometimes it got real awkward. She never, ever paid. She asked that we only address her as Tiger. It was weird. Girl was actively on a dating app during the date and I felt like she wasn't being very discreet. A dude once tipped me $100 to give a drink to a woman at another table and he was there with his wife. Life is wild. There's always a date where one person continuously talks about themselves non-stop the entire time. Like 45 minutes straight of just talking about themselves and never lets the other person speak. It's usually a guy doing this, but I see women do this too sometimes. A woman was engaged and married with a ring on her finger and thought she was meeting someone for a networking HH, but the guy thought they were on a date. Had a table where the guy ordered a ton of food, and when the bill came, he started making excuses about how he forgot his wallet and couldn't pay. The girl was mortified, especially since she had already paid for her own meal. She looked like she was ready to crawl under the table. Here's story 4. What is one kink you'll never understand how people have it? Being sexually attracted to inanimate objects like cars. Anything involving body mutilation. Some dudes take it way too far and cut their dicks off and ship. At that point I'll argue it's a mental illness rather than a kink. The whole financial submission thing. Sorry, I don't get the appeal of paying someone to treat you like an ADM. Getting kicked in the balls. What the heck is that all about? Ocular linctus. The obsession of having your eyes licked, or vice versa. 3 personally do have this, but I've never understood it and it's apparently a pretty decently rare obsession. Vor. Can some vor person explain how getting eaten is hot? Wound fucking. Like, or what's even the appeal? Pretty much everything mentioned in the Diddy trial, but if I had to choose one, I'll go with hiring a male escort to frick his GF while he jerked off and directed in the dark, dressed like a Muslim woman. And then when the escort finishes, he liked his GF to rub the escort's jizz on his nipples. Anything involving shit, vomit, spit, pee, etc. Edit. By spit I mean literally spitting on the person and playing with it and being aroused by that LMAO. I didn't mean kissing or mouth to mouth. Animal abuse or scat obsession that's just gross and unethical. Inflation. I don't understand at all how that's appealing or comfortable. Different strokes for different folks, but that one perplexes me. Bug squishing. I don't understand what is appealing about it. The kink where people simulate being furniture. Like. I'm sorry, but how does one even discover that? One day you are just sitting on your couch and you think to yourself, you know what? I wish I was the couch. Respectfully, I could never. The whole cuck thing. Just don't get it. Buying women dirty used underwear. I don't f-seeking get it. That wraps it up. Alright folks, follow for more stories with Frank.